The council overstepped the line, and humanity reached its limit. Ethan Parker walked into the council hall, his steps echoing against the polished floor. The room was massive, with tall glass walls that showed the stars outside. Alien delegates sat in seats that curved around the hall, their forms strange and colorful. Some had wings, some had scales, and others seemed almost like floating lights. Ethan had seen them many times before, but today the sight made his stomach tighten. The council was about to cross a line, and he knew it. Leela Morgan, standing beside him, glanced at the alien representatives with sharp eyes. Her hands were clenched at her sides. "They think we will obey without question," she said quietly. "They don't know humans like we do." Ethan nodded. "We've been patient for centuries. Maybe it is time they learn patience runs out on Earth too." The council leader, a tall alien named Vorin, spoke in a voice that vibrated like a low hum. "Representatives of Earth," he said, "your recent advancements in defense technology cannot continue without oversight. You will surrender your latest weapons designs to the council within 3 cycles." Murmurs ran through the hall. Some delegates nodded in agreement. Others looked uneasy. Ethan felt his jaw tighten. The council had overstepped. This was not a simple request. This was a command meant to humiliate and control humanity. Leela leaned closer. "They are testing us. They think we will bow quietly." Ethan shook his head. "We won't." "Not this time." In the council chambers of Earth, President Oliver Grant watched the live feed from the hall. His office was full of screens, each showing different parts of the galaxy. He rubbed his forehead, trying to focus. "They have no idea what they are waking," he muttered. Sophie Lane, his chief advisor, placed a hand on his shoulder. "We know, sir," she said calmly. "We have prepared. They may think they are in control, but humanity is ready." Far above Earth, satellites moved silently, orbiting the planet like vigilant guardians. In secret labs, engineers like Noah Taylor and Maya Brooks worked tirelessly, improving defense systems that the Council didn't know existed. They tested new shields, new weapons, and new communication systems. Each day, they pushed the limits, always careful to stay just under the Council's radar. Ethan returned to his seat in the hall as Vorin continued speaking. "Compliance is not optional. Failure to submit will be met with punitive measures. We expect your response by the end of this cycle." The words hung in the air. Some alien delegates looked confident, certain that humanity would surrender. Ethan stared at Vorin and felt a fire inside him. He had lived his life believing in negotiation, in reason, in diplomacy. But the Council had ignored every argument, every warning. The time for talks was over. After the session ended, Ethan and Leela met with other human delegates in a private chamber. Among them were Lucas Reed, a fleet strategist, and Chloe Summers, a communications expert. They all sat around a circular table. "They don't understand humans," Lucas said. "They think fear will make us obey, but they haven't seen our patience run out before." Chloe nodded. "We need to show them that we are capable, that we won't be bullied." Leela leaned forward. "We can do this without starting a war, but we need to be ready to defend ourselves if they push too far." Ethan agreed. "We will send a message, not begging, not pleading. Just a clear statement. We will not surrender what is ours." Meanwhile, on Earth, citizens were unaware of the full scale of the crisis. Schools continued, shops opened, and people went about their daily lives. But behind closed doors, leaders were planning, scientists were preparing, and fleets were quietly being upgraded. Noah Taylor tested a new satellite defense grid. Maya Brooks monitored data from deep space, tracking the Council's movements. Every day, their preparations became more urgent. On the Council's side, Vorin and his advisors were confident. "Humans will comply," he said to his aide. "They are clever, yes, but they are predictable. They will hand over the technology." His aide, a creature with 3 eyes and a shifting form, nodded. "That is our hope, my lord, but there are signs that humanity is not as weak as we believed." Vorin frowned. "Signs are meaningless. We control the rules. They have no choice but to obey." Back on Earth, Ethan, Leela, Lucas, and Chloe developed a plan. They would not attack, but they would demonstrate capability. They would make the Council realize that humans were not a species to underestimate. Communication channels were strengthened, satellites and defense systems were prepared, and the fleet, though not yet deployed, was ready for rapid action if needed. Ethan and Leela visited the headquarters of the Earth Space Defense Program. The building was buzzing with energy. Engineers, technicians, and scientists moved quickly, working on simulations and test runs. Ethan walked past the main control room where Maya Brooks was reviewing satellite scans. "Everything ready?" he asked. Maya looked up. "As ready as we can be without alerting them. We are tracking Council movements. Their fleet is closer than they admit." Ethan nodded. "Good, we need every advantage." Outside, the sun set over Earth, casting long shadows across the city. People walked home, oblivious to the tensions beyond their atmosphere. But in the hearts of humans like Ethan and Leela, a quiet determination burned. They would not allow themselves to be controlled. They would not bow. Humanity had limits, and the Council had just reached them. In a hidden hangar, Lucas Reed walked among sleek, newly constructed ships. Pilots were preparing for simulations, testing maneuvers and strategies. "We show them skill, precision, and intelligence," Lucas said to Chloe. "They may have numbers, but we have strategy." Chloe smiled faintly. "And courage, never underestimate courage." Ethan returned to the private chamber. "We will not send threats," he said. "We will send a statement, clear, calm, firm. Humans do not negotiate from fear." Leela nodded. "It's time they learned that patience is not weakness." Meanwhile, council delegates continued their discussions. Some whispered to each other, speculating on what humans might do. Few understood the depth of human resilience. They had studied the species for centuries, but each generation brought new surprises. Humans could be cautious, patient, and obedient, but when pushed too far, they could be dangerous in ways the galaxy had never seen. In the following days, Ethan and Leela oversaw the final preparations. Communication networks were tested, defense grids calibrated, and every detail double-checked. They knew the Council would respond to any sign of defiance. Earth had to be ready, and humans had to act as one. One evening, Ethan stood on a balcony overlooking a city filled with lights. The stars above seemed calm, distant, and indifferent. Yet among them were countless alien fleets, watching, waiting, and misjudging the humans below. He thought of the generations of humans who had built, fought, and endured. "We are ready," he whispered. "We will not break, we will not bow, they will see who we are." Leela joined him silently. "It's not just about power," she said. "It's about respect. We need them to understand that we are equals, not subjects." Ethan nodded. "And if they do not understand, they will feel the consequences, but I hope it does not come to that." Night passed, and the world seemed peaceful. But in secret, Earth's defenses grew stronger, scientists worked tirelessly, and leaders prepared for the inevitable confrontation. Humanity was on the edge of a turning point. The Council had overstepped, and humans had reached the limit of their patience. On the morning of the new cycle, a Council envoy sent a message directly to Earth. It was polite on the surface, but the words carried threat and expectation. Leela read the message, then turned to Ethan. "They still do not understand. They think this is a choice." Ethan's eyes were steady. "It is a choice," he said, "but it is our choice, and we choose to stand." In secret command centers, pilots and engineers continued their preparations. Lucas Reed reviewed tactical maps, plotting movements that could defend Earth without triggering unnecessary conflict. Chloe Summers monitored communications, ensuring that no Council interference could disrupt their plans. Every human involved felt the weight of history on their shoulders. From the surface, the world seemed calm, but beneath, a storm of human resolve was growing. Citizens went about their lives, unaware that their planet was about to declare, without threat or attack, that humanity had limits, and those limits had been reached. Ethan looked to the stars once more, feeling the tension in every corner of the galaxy. "This is only the beginning," he said quietly. "They will see that humans are not to be underestimated." And far above, in the silence of space, alien observers watched, confident in their control. But confidence is fragile, and patience is a human trait that, when broken, becomes a force the galaxy could not ignore. Earth's leaders gathered in the secure command room, a large circular chamber deep underground. The walls were lined with screens showing the Council's fleets, the positions of satellites, and live feeds from ships in orbit. Ethan Parker stood at the center, flanked by Leela Morgan and Lucas Reed. Chloe Summers monitored communications from a side console, her fingers moving quickly over the controls. Oliver Grant, the president, spoke in a low, serious voice. "The Council believes they can intimidate us. They don't understand who they are dealing with. We have options, and it's time to make a choice." Sophie Lane nodded beside him. "They expect compliance. If we refuse, they will try to punish us, but we have prepared for that. We will not be caught unready." Ethan looked at each of the leaders. This is not just about technology, this is about respect. They think humans are predictable, they believe we will bow, but they are wrong. If they push, we respond. We do not threaten first, but we will defend ourselves. Lucas Reed brought up a holographic map of the sector. Tiny icons showed the movement of Council fleets. They are already deploying forces around Earth, he said. If they move too close, it will be obvious we are not unarmed. Chloe Summers added, our satellites can monitor them, and our defenses are nearly complete. We can track any incursion in real time. They will see that Earth is not defenseless. Maya Brooks, a lead scientist, joined them. We've improved the shield systems and weapon targeting. The fleet is ready to respond immediately if needed. And our message will be clear, we will not surrender our technology. Oliver Grant leaned back in his chair. We will not make threats, but we need to make our position unmistakable. Humans will not be pushed. Ethan turned to Leela. Prepare the statement, calm, firm, and final. No begging, no apologies, just clear human resolve. Leela nodded and began drafting the message, her hands steady. She thought carefully about each word. The council would read between the lines. They would understand strength when it was presented clearly. Meanwhile, in orbit, human ships moved silently. Pilots tested their maneuvers, practicing defensive formations. Each ship was equipped with advanced shields and energy systems that the Council had not seen before. Lucas Reed supervised from the command center, ensuring that every move was precise and measured. On Earth, citizens continued their daily lives, unaware of the preparations above them. Schools, factories, and offices functioned normally, creating a sense of normalcy. But in secret labs and command centers, humanity was preparing to show the galaxy what it could do. Ethan and Leela sent the message to the Council through secure channels. It read simply, Earth will not surrender its technology. We are willing to discuss cooperation, but we will not be intimidated. Humanity expects respect, not commands. When the Council received the message, alien delegates murmured among themselves. Some were confused, others were angry. Voran, the council leader, stared at the screen. They are defiant, he said. This is unexpected. Humans do not usually resist so openly. His aide replied, perhaps they have grown bold. Perhaps they are stronger than we thought. Voran shook his head. Strength does not matter. We control the rules. We will remind them. On Earth, Ethan watched the response come in. It was cold and formal, warning that failure to comply would have consequences. Leela read it aloud. They still don't understand. They think threats will work. They do not know humans at all. Lucas Reed turned to Ethan. Then we make them understand without firing a single shot. We show skill, precision, and readiness. Let them see that we are not helpless. Over the next few days, humanity continued its preparations. Satellites were placed in advanced orbits, capable of tracking and defending against any intrusion. Communication grids were strengthened to prevent interference. Pilots practiced coordinated formations that allowed a small fleet to outmaneuver a larger one. In laboratories, Noah Taylor and Maya Brooks ran simulations, testing every scenario. They calculated speeds, energy outputs, and shield strengths. Every possible situation was accounted for. Humanity would not be caught off guard. Ethan and Leela met with the president and advisors again. We will not attack first, Ethan said. But if they try to take the technology, we respond. Precisely, carefully, and effectively. We do not kill unless necessary, but we will disable them. Sophie Lane nodded. We have leverage. The Council does not expect this level of preparedness. It will give us an advantage. Chloe Summers added, they underestimate us. They have always underestimated humans. That is our strength. Days passed and tension grew. Council fleets moved closer to Earth, scanning silently. They expected hesitation, fear, or panic. Instead, they saw calm. Humanity did not act hastily. They prepared quietly, methodically, showing no sign of weakness. Ethan visited one of the orbital stations. He floated past rows of monitors and control panels, watching pilots coordinate with engineers on the surface. Each team member knew their role. There was no panic, only determination. Leela joined him. The Council thinks humans will fear them, she said. But they don't know how patient and clever we can be. Fear does not control us. Ethan nodded. They will learn, not with words, not with threats, but with what we do. Humans have limits, and we have reached ours. It is time they understand. On the night side of Earth, citizens slept unaware that the galaxy's eyes were upon them. Satellites moved silently, tracking council vessels. Defense systems were online, ready to respond at a moment's notice. Engineers checked calculations, pilots ran final simulations, and leaders coordinated every detail. The day came when the Council sent a direct envoy to Earth. A massive ship appeared in orbit, its size dwarfing any human craft. Alien delegates inside expected submission. They believed humans would fear them and comply. Ethan and Leela watched the ship from the command center. Lucas Reed and Chloe Summers coordinated the fleet, ensuring that every human ship was in position. Earth's message had been sent. It was clear, firm, and unyielding. Noah Taylor monitored energy readings. "They are close enough to interfere," he said. "But all systems are stable, shields and weapons are ready, communications are secure." Maya Brooks added, "They will realize soon that Earth is not helpless. And when they do, they will hesitate." Ethan turned to Leela. "We will not provoke, we will not attack first, but we will respond if necessary. Precision, skill, and unity, that is humanity's answer." The Council envoy opened communications. Voron's voice came through the screens, cold and commanding. "Representatives of Earth, surrender the technology immediately. Failure will result in consequences that will affect your entire planet." Ethan responded calmly. "Earth will not surrender. We will defend what is ours. We are willing to cooperate, but we will not be intimidated. Humanity expects respect, not commands." There was a pause. Silence filled the command center. On the other side, alien delegates whispered among themselves, surprised by the defiance. Some could not believe that a single planet would resist the Council so openly. Lucas Reed smiled. "They thought we would fear them. They will soon see we do not." Over the next hours, human fleets moved into position not to attack, but to show readiness. Pilots executed maneuvers, satellites adjusted, and every system hummed with quiet power. Citizens on the surface went about their lives, unaware of the careful choreography above them. Ethan observed it all, feeling the weight of responsibility. Humanity had reached its limit. The Council had crossed the line, and now humans would show that they were not to be underestimated. Leela stood beside him. "They still do not understand," she said. "They think defiance will scare us. But they have never seen humans stand together, prepared and calm, facing impossible odds with skill and patience." Ethan nodded. "They will learn, and when they do, the galaxy will remember that humans are not weak, not easily broken, and never predictable." As night turned to day on Earth, preparations continued. Engineers adjusted systems, pilots practiced formations, and leaders coordinated strategy. Humanity was ready. They would not bow, they would not surrender. They would show the galaxy that patience has limits, and when those limits are reached, humans become unstoppable. In orbit, the massive Council ship lingered, its alien delegates confident that humanity would comply. But Earth remained calm, prepared, and determined. Ethan Parker knew that soon, the true test of human resilience would begin. And when it did, the Council would learn a lesson they would never forget. For the first time in centuries, humanity was about to stand fully against the Council, not with anger, but with steady resolve. They had reached the end of patience. They were ready to show the galaxy what it meant to underestimate humans. The Council fleet hovered near Earth, massive ships stretching like shadows across space. Alien delegates expected fear. They expected humans to hesitate. But all they saw was calm. Ethan Parker stood at the command console, eyes on the screens. Every satellite, every human ship, every system hummed with readiness. Leela Morgan leaned over his shoulder. "They think they control the situation," she said. "They have no idea what humans can do when pushed too far." Ethan nodded. "It's time to show them, not with anger, not with reckless attack, but with precision and skill." Lucas Reed issued orders to the fleet. "Form the defensive pattern Alpha, satellites on grid Beta. Shields to full capacity. We are not attacking. We are showing capability." The human fleet moved like a single organism, coordinated and precise. Small ships darted around larger ones, forming patterns the Council had never seen. Satellites adjusted their orbits, creating a layered shield around the planet. Every movement was calculated, every action deliberate. Chloe Summers monitored communications. "They are trying to contact us again," she said. "They want compliance. They do not expect this level of readiness." Ethan tapped the console. "Patch them through. Let them see we are calm, prepared, and organized. No fear, no panic." On the Council ship, Voron's eyes widened as he watched the human fleet. They are ready," he said in disbelief. They move with skill and coordination unlike anything we have observed. How can a single planet prepare so quickly? His age shifted uneasily. Perhaps we underestimated them. Perhaps humanity is more capable than we believed. Voron's expression hardened. We will remind them who controls this sector. They will comply. Back on Earth, Lucas Reed smiled faintly. They still think fear will work. They do not realize that humans have patience and skill. When that patience ends, they see a force they cannot predict. Maya Brooks monitored energy outputs from the satellites. Shields are stable. Weapon systems are ready but offline. We only act if provoked. This is a demonstration of capability, not aggression. Ethan looked at the screens, seeing alien ships inching closer. They will test us. That is their nature, but we will not overreact. Every action we take must show control, intelligence, and determination. Hours passed, and the Council sent small reconnaissance ships toward Earth. They moved confidently, expecting to find vulnerability. Instead, each vessel was tracked, scanned, and monitored by human satellites. Some ships were temporarily disabled by non-lethal pulses that prevented their engines from functioning. None were destroyed, but every ship experienced a subtle but clear warning. Humans could act with precision. Chloe Summers watched the reports. They are starting to understand. Their scouts are cautious now. They expected hesitation, but they found readiness. Ethan nodded. And patience. We show we do not panic. That is human strength. The Council convened in their war room. Alien delegates argued. Some wanted to attack immediately. Others were concerned. Voron's voice cut through the tension. Do not underestimate them. Observation shows humans are deliberate, strategic, and unusually calm under pressure. This is unsettling. On Earth, Leela Morgan turned to Ethan. They are hesitant. They did not expect us to act this way. They thought fear would control us. Ethan's eyes were steady. Humans are not controlled by fear. We are guided by reason and unity. That is what they cannot predict. Lucas Reed moved the fleet in subtle patterns, creating the impression of larger forces than actually existed. Smaller ships moved quickly around larger vessels, creating multiple layers of defense. Council ships, observing from above, reported back confusion and caution. Maya Brooks adjusted the shields. Energy levels are optimal. We can maintain this indefinitely. Their fleet cannot approach without being tracked and monitored. Every movement they make is known to us. Chloe Summers added, our communications remain secure. They cannot interfere. They are starting to realize that humans are unpredictable in ways they cannot calculate. Meanwhile, on Earth's surface, ordinary citizens were unaware of the tension above. Children played in parks, students walked to schools, and workers moved along city streets. To them, life was normal, calm, and ordinary. But above them, the sky was filled with invisible layers of human preparedness. Ethan Parker called a meeting with Leela, Lucas, Chloe, and Maya. We continue to show strength, not aggression, he said. Every action we take must demonstrate control, intelligence, and readiness. We will not strike unless provoked. We will not panic. But we will respond if necessary, Leela nodded. They are learning. Each move we make teaches them that humans are capable, precise, and united. Lucas Reed adjusted the fleet's positioning. They are testing again. Small maneuvers, probes, they expect a reaction. They will get one, controlled and deliberate. We show we are not afraid. Chloe Summers monitored incoming communications. Their messages are changing, less commanding, more cautious. They are surprised by our readiness. That is exactly what we want. Ethan Parker walked to the window overlooking Earth. The planet looked calm and small from space, a peaceful blue and green sphere. Yet on it, humanity's strength was concentrated, ready to defend, ready to show the galaxy what patience and skill could achieve. Maya Brooks joined him. They still do not realize that humans are not predictable. That is our advantage. They do not know how far we can plan or how fast we can act. Ethan nodded. And they will learn. Soon they will understand that humans are not to be underestimated. They will see that patience has limits, and we have reached ours. The Council, growing increasingly cautious, ordered a small offensive maneuver. A group of ships moved closer, testing Earth's defenses. Human satellites tracked them instantly. Energy pulses temporarily disabled their engines, forcing them to drift harmlessly away. No lives were lost, but the message was unmistakable. Humans could defend themselves with precision and intelligence. Chloe Summers smiled at the report. They are beginning to hesitate. They thought we would panic, but we are calm. That is what unsettles them. Lucas Reed added. Our positioning and tactics confuse them. They cannot predict our moves. Each attempt to intimidate only shows their weakness in understanding humans. On the council ship, alien delegates whispered nervously. Voron's expression was grim. Humans are not what we expected. Their patience, skill, and calm under pressure. It is unsettling. We must reconsider our approach. Ethan Parker watched the council's movements. They are realizing that humans are not easily controlled. That is exactly what we needed them to see. Patience, preparation, and skill create respect. Leela Morgan added, we have shown them that humans do not act recklessly, but we will act decisively if provoked. That is a power they cannot calculate. As the hours passed, the Council fleet became cautious. Reconnaissance ships no longer moved freely. Every Council maneuver was tracked and countered without aggression. Humanity's message was clear. They would not surrender, they would not fear, and they would defend themselves with intelligence and precision. Maya Brooks monitored shield strength. All systems stable. Energy reserves are optimal. If they attempt a full approach, we are ready. Lucas Reed adjusted the fleet. They are hesitant now. Every move is slower. They are learning that humans are not predictable, and that caution is necessary when facing us. Ethan Parker called a final meeting before the night cycle. We have shown restraint, skill, and readiness. This is the first stage. They are aware that we are prepared and capable, but we remain calm. We do not overreact. Every action must be deliberate. Leela Morgan nodded. They now respect or at least fear our readiness. That is progress. We continue the demonstration and we maintain control. Chloe Summers monitored communications. Their attempts to intimidate are weakening. They now realize that humans cannot be predicted. That is our strength. Hours turned into a day and the Council withdrew slightly, giving space around Earth. Their delegates whispered among themselves, unsure how to handle a species that refused to bend. Humans were calm, precise, and ready. Ethan Parker looked at Earth from the command center. They think they have the advantage, but they do not. We have shown skill, patience, and unity. Humans are not easily broken, and we have proven it. Leela Morgan added, the galaxy will soon see that humanity is unpredictable. Patience has limits, and when those limits are reached, humans act decisively and intelligently. That is what the Council is learning now. On Earth, ordinary people went about their day, oblivious to the unfolding standoff. But in the command centers, labs, and ships above, humanity had demonstrated its readiness. The Council's arrogance had met human patience, intelligence, and unity, and it had reached its limit. Ethan Parker knew that this was only the beginning. Humanity had shown its capability and restraint. The next steps would test the Council's resolve further, but Earth was ready. And when the Council realized the full extent of human determination, the galaxy would never underestimate humans again. For the first time, humans had acted not out of fear, not out of anger, but with steady resolve. They had reached the limits of patience, and now they had shown the galaxy the force of human skill, intelligence, and courage. Ethan Parker stood at the command console, watching the Council fleet hesitate in orbit. For the first time, the alien ship seemed unsure. The humans had not attacked. They had only demonstrated skill, coordination, and readiness, but that demonstration was enough. The Council had begun to understand that Earth was not to be pushed. Leela Morgan moved to his side. They are slowing their approach, she said. Every movement is cautious. They are realizing we are not weak. Ethan nodded. It is time to show them even more, not with weapons, but with resolve. They need to understand that humanity cannot be intimidated. Lucas Reed issued quiet commands. The fleet adjusted its formations, moving into positions that covered every possible approach. Satellites and defense grids monitored the Council's ships in real time. Every human system was online, every team prepared. Chloe Summers checked communications. They are sending messages, trying to negotiate. They want us to bend. They do not understand that we will not. Ethan tapped the screen. Let them talk. Our message is already clear. Humans defend themselves and expect respect. We do not attack first, but we will respond if provoked. On the Council ship, Voron spoke to his aides. His voice was tight with frustration. We cannot believe this. They move with intelligence and patience. Every action is calculated. We have never encountered a species like this. What are we to do? His aide, three-eyed and shifting in form, hesitated. They are not just clever, my lord. They are united. They act with precision and confidence. Perhaps we misjudged humans. Voron's expression darkened. Misjudged, they refuse to obey, they challenge us. We cannot allow this, yet we also cannot attack carelessly. Their systems, they are prepared. They will defend with skill we cannot predict. Back on Earth, Noah Taylor and Maya Brooks watched energy levels and system outputs. Every shield and satellite was fully operational. The Council ships could not approach without being tracked and countered. Humanity had prepared for every scenario. Ethan turned to Leela. We remain calm, we remain deliberate. This is not war, yet it is a test of their judgment. They will see that humans act with patience and intelligence, but we also act decisively when required. Leela nodded. Every move we make teaches them that humans cannot be easily controlled. That is our strength. Lucas Reed adjusted the fleet's positioning again. Small human ships moved quickly around larger ones, forming layers that made the Council vessels seem smaller and less coordinated. Satellites emitted pulses that temporarily disabled reconnaissance ships, giving clear warnings. No ships were destroyed, but every action carried a message. Humanity was ready. Chloe Summers monitored the Council's communication channels. They are confused. Their commanders are arguing. They expected panic or surrender, but they found calm and precision. That is unnerving for them. Ethan Parker watched carefully. We will not strike unless necessary, but if they test us further, they will see human skill and unity in full force. They will understand that our patience has limits, and those limits have been reached. The Council, growing desperate, tried to force compliance with stronger maneuvers. Ships moved closer, scanning Earth and sending signals. But each movement was countered by human satellites. Engines were temporarily disabled. Signals were scrambled. The humans had not attacked, but every action demonstrated that Earth could defend itself. Voron's voice echoed through the Council chamber. We cannot risk a full approach. They are not predictable. We cannot calculate their responses. We may have underestimated them. But what do? They will not obey. His aide whispered, perhaps we should negotiate. They have demonstrated skill and unity. Perhaps they deserve respect. Voron's expression hardened. Respect? They have defied us. They have shown patience and intelligence. But they must learn limits, or the galaxy will forget our authority. Meanwhile, Ethan Parker gathered with Leela, Lucas, and Chloe. We continue to act with precision, he said. We do not panic. Every move must be deliberate. We are not weak. We are patient. But patience has limits, and we have reached ours. The Council sent another envoy to Earth, this time larger and more cautious. Voron's message came through. Earth, surrender the technology now. Your defiance has consequences. Ethan's voice was steady. Earth will not surrender. Humans will defend what is ours. We are willing to cooperate, but we will not be intimidated. Respect is not a choice, it is earned. We have reached our limit of patience, and you have crossed the line. On the Council ship, alien delegates whispered nervously. They are confident. They do not fear us. They act as though they control the situation, one said. Voron's expression darkened. This is unsettling. We cannot calculate them. They are precise, patient, and united. We must be careful. Back on Earth, Noah Taylor monitored energy levels. All systems stable, shields at full capacity, satellites tracking every ship. The humans are ready for anything. Maya Brooks added, we only act defensively. But we make them understand that Earth cannot be easily subdued. Lucas Reed moved the fleet into the final demonstration pattern. Small ships formed rapid, precise formations, surrounding the Council vessels without aggression. Satellites emitted pulses that disrupted sensors, showing humans could disable ships if needed. The Council watched, stunned. Chloe Summers smiled. They are beginning to hesitate. Every movement is slow. They are realizing humans are not predictable and they cannot calculate us. Ethan Parker watched calmly. This is what they needed to see. Humanity's patience, intelligence, and unity cannot be ignored. They will understand that humans are not weak. For hours, the standoff continued. The Council fleet remained cautious. Earth's forces did not attack. Humans did not panic. Yet every action, every maneuver, every system online sent the same message. Humans are precise, intelligent, and united. They will not bow. Finally, Voron spoke to his delegates. We cannot force them. Their patience, skill, and unity are remarkable. Perhaps it is time to reconsider our approach. They have earned respect whether we admit it or not. On Earth, Ethan Parker addressed his team. We have shown strength without aggression. We have demonstrated skill and unity. The Council has learned that humans cannot be intimidated. Today, we have proven something important. Humanity will defend itself when pushed too far, and we act with intelligence and precision. Leela Morgan nodded. They now understand that humans are not weak, not easily broken, and not predictable. That is our message. Lucas Reed smiled. They will remember this. The Council cannot ignore what they have seen. Humanity has reached its limit, and we have shown it. Chloe Summers added, this is not victory through destruction. It is victory through skill, patience, and intelligence. That is what makes humans unique. On the Council ship, Vorin issued a final order. We withdraw for now. Earth has proven capable. We must treat them with caution and respect. They are unlike any species we have encountered. Ethan Parker watched the Council fleet slowly retreat. They have learned, he said quietly. They have seen that humans are not easily controlled. They have seen patience and intelligence in action. They have seen what happens when they cross the line. Leela Morgan placed a hand on his shoulder. Humanity has not only defended itself, but we have shown the galaxy what it means to underestimate us. They will think twice before challenging Earth again. Across Earth, ordinary people went about their lives, unaware of the standoff above. Schools, factories, and cities continued normally. But the message had been sent. Humanity does not bow to intimidation. Humanity does not surrender easily. Humanity acts with patience, skill, and courage, and when pushed too far, humanity will reach its limits and act decisively. Ethan Parker stood quietly, looking at the calm planet below. We have done what we needed to do. Not with violence, but with intelligence, unity, and precision. Humans have reached their limit, and the galaxy has seen it. Leela Morgan joined him. They will remember. The Council will never underestimate humanity again. The night passed quietly. Satellites remained on alert, ships held their positions, and humans prepared for the future. The Council had learned a valuable lesson. Earth could not be bullied, and humanity's patience had limits. From this point forward, humanity would be treated differently. Other species in the galaxy whispered about Earth, speaking of skill, patience, and unity. They spoke of humans as capable, intelligent, and unpredictable. Humanity had not only defended itself, but it had changed the galaxy's perception forever. Ethan Parker turned to Leela. We have shown them what humans are, not through fear, not through aggression, but through determination, intelligence, and precision. That is what makes us strong. Leela smiled. And they will never forget it. On Earth, life returned to normal. Citizens walked streets, children played, and the world seemed peaceful. But above, humans remained vigilant. Satellites, fleets, and defense systems stayed ready. Humanity had reached its limit, and it had proven that when pushed too far, humans could act with patience, skill, and unity to defend what they valued most. Ethan Parker looked out at the stars one last time. We have reached our limit. But we have done so wisely with intelligence and courage. The Council knows it now, the galaxy knows it, and humanity will never be underestimated again. Leela Morgan stood beside him, watching the quiet blue planet. And that is how humans survive, thrive, and remind the universe that patience has limits, and when the line is crossed, humanity reaches them and acts. Above Earth, the stars were calm, but the galaxy had changed. Humanity had shown its true strength, and from that day on, the Council and all who watched would remember. Humans are precise, patient, united, and unstoppable when their limits are reached.